Open this gate right now or I swear to God I'll have your wife arrested for false imprisonment. The words ripped through the quiet morning air like a chainsaw at a tea party. There stood Beverly Kensington, president of the Oak Ridge Estates Homeowners Association, clutching my front gate like it owed her money. Her face twisted in theatrical fury while her pearls bounced with every hysterical shake. You know those picture-perfect suburbs where every lawn looks like it was vacuumed by angels and the only acceptable color is beige? Yeah. That's Oak Ridge Estates. Peaceful on the surface. Suffocating underneath. I'm Marcus Hale. 5 years ago I walked away from a soul-crushing tech job in Seattle and bought my late grandfather's old 15-acre homestead that somehow got swallowed up when the developers carved up the hills around it. Most folks sold out. I didn't. I started raising chickens, growing heirloom vegetables, and selling eggs and produce at the farmer's market. Simple life. Honest life. Until Beverly decided my little homestead was an eyesore that needed to disappear so she and her developer buddies could squeeze in 6 more McMansions. It started politely enough. 2 months ago she rolled up in her white Range Rover wearing a pastel blazer that probably cost more than my tractor. The smile never reached her eyes. Marcus. Darling, she cooed. Have you ever thought about what this land could be worth to the right people? I have connections. We could make you very comfortable. I smiled back. Polite as pie. Appreciate the offer. Beverly. But this place has been in my family since 1949. Not for sale. The mask slipped for half a second. Her eyes went flat. Everything has a price. Marcus. You'll learn that soon enough. I should have taken the hint. But I still believed property rights meant something in America. That belief died the morning Amendment 38C quietly passed at the monthly HOA meeting I didn't even know I was supposed to attend. The new rule stated that any agricultural activity on residential property required monthly safety inspections by an HOA-approved official. Guess who the only agricultural holdout in Oak Ridge was? Yours truly. 7:02 a.m. On a Monday. Beverly's Range Rover pulled up, followed by her lapdog attorney Arthur Pembroke and a guy in a cheap polo shirt who introduced himself as health and safety inspector like he'd ordered the title off Wish. Good morning, Marcus. Beverly sang out, stepping onto the gravel in 4-inch heels that immediately sank like quicksand. We're here for the inspection. Open the gate. Please. I stood on my side of the fence, arms crossed. Morning, Beverly. This is private property. Unless you've got a warrant signed by an actual judge. You're not stepping one designer's shoe onto my land. Her smile froze. Arthur started filming on his phone with shaky hands. The fake inspector tried to squeeze around the gate post. I simply shifted my weight to block him, didn't touch him. Didn't raise my voice. That's when Beverly decided to go full Oscar-worthy performance. She gasped theatrically, stumbled backward, and dramatically collapsed against the hood of her own car, clutching her chest. He assaulted me, she shrieked directly into Arthur's camera. He shoved me. Arthur. Are you getting this? This man is violent. I just stared. Hands clearly visible at my sides. Beverly. There are security cameras on the gate. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm calling the police, she screamed. Already dialing. 911? Yes. I'm at Oak Ridge Estates. The homeowner just physically attacked me. I fear for my life. 15 minutes later 2 sheriff's deputies rolled up. They took one look at the scene, me standing calmly, Beverly sobbing into a tissue while checking her reflection in the car window, and their faces said everything. This wasn't their first rodeo with HOA drama. While they took statements, my phone buzzed. Text from my wife Amanda, watching the feed. Say nothing but facts. I've got this. The deputies left with a warning to keep the peace. Beverly wasn't satisfied. By lunchtime, Arthur's edited video, carefully cropped to remove the part where I never touched her, was blowing up the neighborhood Facebook group under the caption, "Violent Homesteader Attacks HOA President, Is Our Community Safe?" By dinner my online shop was flooded with one-star reviews from accounts that had never bought a single egg. Dangerous psycho, keep your kids away, shut this place down. Wholesale accounts started canceling. The local co-op paused our partnership pending investigation. I watched 10 years of building something real evaporate in 6 hours because one woman couldn't hear the word no. Then came the lawsuit. Delivered by courier on thick cream paper that probably cost more per sheet than my monthly feed bill. $750,000 for assault, emotional distress, and public nuisance. They threatened a lien on the property if I didn't settle within 10 days. I started digging. Quietly. Methodically. Turns out Beverly was a silent partner in the development company that built Oak Ridge. Arthur's law firm was her brother-in-law's. And 3 other small farms in the county had been hit with the exact same playbook: harassment, fake complaints, lowball buyouts. A well-oiled machine designed to grind stubborn landowners into bankruptcy and flip the land for profit. I was sitting in my truck staring at foreclosure notices when a text came from an unknown number, diner on Route 9. Back booth. 20 minutes. Come alone. Arthur. I almost didn't go. But desperation makes you reckless. Arthur looked like he hadn't slept in days. He slid a flash drive across the table with trembling fingers. My daughter saw the files, he whispered. She looked at me like I was a monster. I can't do this anymore. The drive contained everything: emails coordinating fake complaints, kickback spreadsheets, even the script Beverly had written for her 911 call. She's planning to bury you at the settlement meeting Friday, Arthur said. Lowball offer or endless litigation. Don't sign anything until exactly 3 p.m. I went home and laid it all out for Amanda. She listened without interrupting. Then walked to her safe and pulled out a gold badge I'd never seen before. Chief of Police. Appointed 6 months ago to quietly dismantle public corruption in zoning and development. We've been building a RICO case against Beverly's crew for over a year, she said calmly. Your property became the perfect visible target. I needed her to get sloppy. I needed her to think she was winning. I stared at my wife, the woman who made killer lasagna and somehow also ran the entire police department. You used us as bait? She smiled that small, dangerous smile. I trusted you to play your part perfectly. And you did. Friday. 2:58 p.m. The air in the HOA conference room was thick enough to spread on toast. Beverly sat at the head of the long mahogany table looking like the cat who'd already swallowed the canary and was now suing it for emotional damages. Arthur stared at his shoes. Her brother-in-law lawyer slid the settlement papers across to me with a smug grin. Sign it. Marcus. This is more than generous considering the legal jeopardy you're in. I glanced at the wall clock. 2:59. I need a minute to think. You don't have a minute, Beverly snapped. Her polite mask cracking. Sign it now or we'll take everything. The second hand hit 3 o'clock. The double doors burst open. Amanda walked in wearing full dress uniform, navy blue. Gold braid. Chief's badge gleaming under the fluorescent lights. 4 uniformed officers and 2 FBI agents followed. The silence was so complete I could hear Beverly's fake eyelashes flutter. Who the hell are you? Beverly demanded, rising halfway out of her chair. Chief Amanda Pierce, my wife said. Voice calm and authoritative. And I believe you know my husband. She rested both hands on the table and looked Beverly dead in the eye. When you start committing wire fraud, extortion, and interstate racketeering to steal people's land, it becomes my jurisdiction. Actually, it becomes the FBI's jurisdiction too. Beverly's face went through every stage of grief in under 4 seconds: denial, anger, bargaining, and finally raw panic. "This is a private meeting," her lawyer sputtered. "Not anymore," Amanda replied, sliding the warrants across the table. "We just executed simultaneous searches on your development company offices and your brother-in-law's firm. Thanks to the unedited 911 call where you can be heard rehearsing your little performance before the operator even answered. We're adding false police report and perjury." Beverly spun on Arthur. "You traitorous little..." Arthur finally looked up, voice steady for the first time. "No. Beverly. You did this to yourself. I just stopped helping you hide it." The cuffs clicked around her wrists with the most satisfying sound I've ever heard. "Regina Beverly Kensington," Amanda said formally. "You are under arrest for extortion, fraud, conspiracy, and violation of the RICO Act." Beverly lost it completely, kicking, screaming, mascara running as they let her out. "This is entrapment. He set me up. His wife set me up." Amanda watched her go, then turned to me with the tiniest wink. "She's right about one thing. She set herself up. We just left the door open." The aftermath was beautiful. The story exploded across local news and then national. Turns out Beverly and her crew had preyed on over 40 families across 3 counties. Millions in kickbacks, offshore accounts, the whole predatory package. Beverly got 7 years in federal prison. Her brother-in-law was disbarred. Arthur took a plea, testified, and now spends his weekends doing free legal clinics for people fighting abusive HOAs. Our homestead business has never been better. People drive from 3 towns over just to buy eggs from the guy who took down the HOA mafia. The farm is thriving. But the quiet evenings on the porch are what I treasure most. Amanda and I sitting with cold beers, watching the sun set over land that's still ours. One night she leaned her head on my shoulder and said, "Worth the wait?" I thought about Beverly's face when those cuffs clicked. The way her entire empire of rules and control collapsed in 10 seconds flat. "Yeah," I laughed. "It really was. Here's what keeps me up at night, though. We won because my wife happened to be the chief. We won because we had an insider and months of preparation. Most people facing these neighborhood tyrants don't have any of that. They're just regular folks trying to live their lives who get crushed under the weight of fines, lawsuits, and public shaming, all in the name of community standards. So let me ask you this. When an HOA president weaponizes rules, lies to police, and tries to steal someone's home through manufactured drama, who's really the criminal here? The guy quietly raising chickens on his own land? Or the pearl-clutching Karen who thinks her title gives her the right to play dictator? Drop your answer in the comments. Was Beverly just doing her job, or did she finally get the comeuppance she deserved? And more importantly, what would you do if your neighborhood Karen came for your backyard next? I'll see you in the next one. Stay free out there.